Welcome to Life and DNA with Amanda Renee. I'm so glad you joined me today. Let's get started. And let's get started. Today I thought I would just talk about some homeschooling tips. I've got notes on my phone about what I'm going to be talking about. Um, since we've been back for the past couple of weeks from the Christmas break, I've had to change some things up. I usually do, and that's one of the many benefits of homeschooling is that you get to, set your own schedule and kind of go with the flow and do your own thing, which I've always loved. Um, so trying to get back into the swing of things after taking a month off is always a little hard. Um, I've been very blessed because I have a husband that's always been on board with this. I've known since I was 16 and first heard about homeschooling that I wanted to homeschool. And so, long before I even met my husband, I knew that's what I wanted to do. And he's been on board with that. We discussed it when we were dating. And so I'm very, very thankful for that because I know a lot of homeschool moms don't have that. And he's always, not only does he, go to work so I can stay home and get to homeschool, but he's always been just supportive of, the things I've decided to do and the curriculum we use and things like that. So I've always been very blessed in that area and very thankful for that. But trying to get back in the swing of things is always hard, especially because, the past few weeks have been kind of crazy for us. So it's just been, I don't know, kind of one thing coming up after another that we've got to go do, or, the weather has been crazy here. And so just trying to get back in the groove has been a struggle. We're still not quite there. But we're trying and we're getting there. Some of the things the tips and just kind of things that have worked for me. My daughter, both of my kids have different learning styles. And that's one of the awesome things about homeschooling is that you can take the time to learn how they learn. And let me tell you now, it changes over time. So as a homeschool mom, you are constantly having to learn and pay attention and rethink what works as they grow and change in things. And so my daughter, at one point, my whole dream was I would have the kids and we would all sit around the living room or the kitchen table, and I would, teach them basically the same thing and read to them, and we would all learn together, do the science experiments together, do the little projects together. And no, that did not work out. Um, our kids are 4 years apart, so that may play into some of that a little bit, but, and their learning styles are very different. So my son is very fidgety and noisy and loves to annoy his sister. And so when I would try to read, he would be busy doing that, and she wouldn't be able to focus because she needs things she's kind of fidgety too sometimes, but she likes to have it quiet. And then I learned later, when she was about third grade, she said, I don't understand it as well when you read it, Mom. I need to read it for myself. And she's always been a really good reader. So that's when she started doing her work on her own more often. And so that worked out great. Then just recently I got told that that's not the way it is anymore, and hear me read something and understand it just fine. So just know that sometimes they grew out of the things that worked for you once. And so she and I do math together. She's in pre-algebra. Oh my gosh. Oh, I grew up in public school. I honestly do not remember learning some of the specific things that she had. I mean, I have the resource of having the answer key so I can see how they got to the answer, and anything we have questions on, you can always get on the Moms and Master Books Facebook page and ask questions, and or even the app, and they're great at answering you quickly. But as much as I hate math, I'm pretty good at it, so I can figure out what they've done. I just don't remember learning it. Like, I remember algebra. I even had algebra 2 at some point, but I don't remember doing some of the particular things that she's learning. Of course, in public school, you never finish a whole book, so who knows what I learned way back then. But anyway, my point with her was I remember growing up, in math, you always had scratch paper, and mine would be full of, trying this and trying that. And then once you got it worked out, you would move it to your paper. I have always tried to push that on her, and it didn't work. And finally we figured out it was the lines on the paper for her. Whereas I like having lines on the paper. It helps me keep things in their proper place and structured. For her, they were distracting. And so this year in the back of her binder, I put up a lot of just blank copy paper for her to use as scratch paper. But then, since we worked together on the math, we discovered that a whiteboard with, I don't know that the color matters, but I think the stark contrast between the bright white board and then the black marker helps to, just keep focus. It's big, it's focused, and that has really helped us. It even kind of helps me when we work it out. I kind of wish that I would have had that option in school. I might have gotten some things a little quicker. Funny how our brains work that way, isn't it? Like, it's not until trying new things and doing new things with homeschooling our kids that I've even picked up on some of these things. I never would have thought that there would even be a difference between the two types of paper and using them, or even adding in a whiteboard. But it's been really helpful, and it's nice because also you don't have a bunch of trash from the paper. One of the other things, I went trying to go back to basics. Like with my son, he has always been a grade ahead in math. He's really good at math. But once we got to, I've never been big on like memorizing math facts. I've just never pushed that. I didn't even have all my math facts memorized when I graduated, so I didn't ever push that on them. I see now that I probably should have focused on that more with our daughter, because it takes her just a little longer because she doesn't have it memorized. So she knows how to get to the answer, which is what I like. I want them to be able to figure them out and solve them. But had she had it memorized, she would be able to just, get through them quicker. So I have paused. I got to a point in my son's math, and since he's a grade ahead, even if he wasn't, I would still want to do this. But since he is a grade ahead, it's not going to hurt him. And we're stopping and we're just getting the basics down. And I think I might try to help him memorize the last few of his multiplication tables that he doesn't know. We have, 1 through 5. He's got that down. but we might work on 6 through 9 at least. And he knows his 10s, of course. So we might work on those just so that when we get into the harder stuff, I think we ended on factoring. And factoring is so much easier if you know your multiplication table and you know the facts. So that's what we're doing now with him. Just because I want to make it as smooth a transition. I'm the teacher. I'm in charge of, what we do. And I just think it would be better to move forward with all of that and just set him up for greater success as we move forward in all of that. With one thing I did with him, whereas our daughter picked up on reading, I think she was 4 and reading well. I mean, she was reading King James version of the Bible like really young. She is really good at, she loves reading. She's good at reading. Our son, math was his big thing. And he could do math in his head as a toddler. Like, it was crazy. So, not huge problems, but just little things that I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. And learning his alphabet, he just was not interested. He was not interested in that at all. And so when he was, 4 or 5, when we were starting pre-K, I made him, he's really big into WWE wrestling. He watches that with my husband all the time. And I made him these cards. And I had at the top in big bold print the letter, the capital, and then the lowercase version. Underneath that, I had a picture of a wrestler with that letter either starting in their name or in their name somewhere. And I'd have the letter underlined and, I'd have their name under their picture and then have the letter underlined. He loved it. I think the only letter I couldn't find was Q, so I had a little cartoon picture of a queen on there. He hated when we got to that one. He's such a boy. But anyway, he loved that. We started out with a few at a time, so I wasn't, I'd go through the whole thing and show him. But then we'd start memorizing a few at a time. He picked up on those so fast because he was actually interested in the letters now because he got to see the pictures of the wrestlers he liked with them. And I was so thankful that I had come up with that idea. Somehow I've been praying about how to help him memorize his alphabet. So I was so thankful for that idea, and it really worked. And ever since then he has learned fast with that. We did try just to help him get interested and learn the sounds. Master Books Academy, which is their online courses, they have one called Wowza Brain. And we just did level 1. I didn't feel like he really needed to go any further with it. But with level 1, it just focuses on letters and their sounds. And then you get them used to, they hear the letter, say the letter, touch the letter, or something like that. It helps use all areas of the brain. And then you get faster and faster with these drills of recognizing the letter and their sound. And that really helped him. And then right after that, he just started taking off reading, and he reads better and better all the time. Like he's doing really good. Even his spelling has improved a lot this year. And that's another thing that I've learned. I tried to learn it. I learned it early on. I heard it or read it somewhere that when you're trying to teach a kid and they're struggling in something, set it aside. Either don't focus on it or just put it on hold, put it on the back burner for about a month and then reintroduce it. A lot of times their brains just weren't ready for that information yet. And when you, 9 times out of 10, when you reintroduce it, it clicks. And it's crazy, but their brains are developing so fast, especially when preschool and the first few years, their brains are just growing really fast. And every time I would do that, it would work. Every single time. And I think with my son, taking the time to do the cards with the alphabet and taking the time to do the sounds with Wowza Brain, it was just kind of a way to keep doing something towards that while also not focusing really hard on it. And then, his brain was ready and he was ready to move forward, and he's done great ever since. Let's see. I'm trying to look at my notes. But yeah, so with homeschooling, you control your schedule. We have, I had my son doing 2 sciences. We were trying to finish up one we had started, mostly because Masterbooks has so many great science classes that I'm trying to fit them all in. And I realized it was kind of stressful because he also has jiu-jitsu class, and trying to fit all of that in has been hard. So with that, and with my daughter's math, because I have to work on it with her, and there's certain days of the week where I'm gone for, jiu-jitsu classes or a staff meeting or different things. So I decided the second science for my son and then math with my daughter, we would make those on the days where we're home all day. And so, if a class gets canceled or something gets canceled, we can get a lot of those things done in a week. But if not, then there's at least 2 days a week that we get to focus on them. And then we've had a lot less, meltdowns over math and stress trying to just cram everything in. So, because I looked ahead, our daughter's in 8th grade. Gosh, that doesn't seem possible, but she's in 8th grade. And so she only has 3 more math courses that she has to take before she graduates. So, we can slow down on the math a little bit and take our time. And hopefully that won't take us forever. The other thing I was going to talk about today was more about the Hashimoto's that I've been struggling with. I've been reading the book by Dr. Heather Stone. I've been reading that. I have been reading my Bible, if you've watched before. I've been doing that every day. I found that after dinner, while my husband's finding something on TV to watch or, relaxing there, I'll read my Bible and get it done then. And that's working out really well. But after that, I usually pick up the Thyroid Transformation book and start reading on that. And I'm trying to learn all the testing that I need to have done. I'm kind of getting to the place, and I've been talking to my husband about that I'm ready to find out what the root cause is. Everything that I have read and listened to and learned, you have to find the root cause. Otherwise, all you're doing is throwing a medication band-aid on the issue, and it's only going to wreak havoc on your body while you're just upping medication and you're not fixing the actual problem. And I am ready to do that, but I'm trying to wrap my brain around the fact that it's going to be a long process, mostly because this testing is ridiculously expensive. Like, I mean, the testing is just, it's insane. Especially because insurance does not cover a lot of them, which again is ridiculous because how much money is being thrown at these insurance companies, and then, oh, they'll pay for your medication, all day long, because then you're still sick and you're still a patient. I don't want to be a patient anymore. I want to be healthy and have energy and lose all this excess weight and be able to live my life without, having to worry about doctor's appointments all the time. That's annoying. I'm trying to find, I just recently had something happened, and my doctor that I loved so much and was helping me so much is no longer at the clinic that I go to. So I see a new doctor, and I am praying that she will help me get these tests run. Because I found through, if you go to, I was going to pull up the website. If you go to the website for Dr. Isabella Wentz, the one that wrote the Root Cause book over Hashimoto's, she has a thing in her menu under resources where you can find doctors in your state that other patients have found helpful to get to the root cause. Like, they will actually help you with the testing and everything. And I found a couple in the same town as my sisters live in, and so we go visit them some. So that would be nice to have somewhere kind of close. But I called and got information. He does not take insurance, so I would have to file the things myself. So I would have to pay ahead and file the things myself. And just the first 2 doctor's visits, not counting any of the lab work, was over $500. So I was like, well, I might just wait until my other appointment and pray that this new doctor at the clinic I go to now will actually help me. Because she does take insurance, and I'm an established patient there. And if I can get her to help me, that'd be great. If not, also on the website for Isabella Wentz, in the resources, there is one called Labs. And I was looking this up the other day, trying to figure out. And I'm going to talk to my husband and see what he thinks about which one I should try to get first. She has sources where you can go through these labs that she's worked with, and so it's, I believe, now I'm not going to do anything until after I've had this other appointment, which isn't till April, and that is so hard to wait. I'm ready to get this done now. I'm not looking forward to having to wait, but I believe the tests are cheaper here than if you had to get them from your regular lab on your own. And some of the different ones that she recommends to get to the root cause is a GI map test. And I believe that is a stool test, I believe. And it's looking for parasites, bacteria, fungi, hidden infections in your body, which a lot of times is a root. Some of these are pretty common root causes for Hashimoto's. Let's see. And then the oats test, and that one tests vitamin and mineral levels, and also tests for oxidative stress, neurotransmitter levels, looks for mold, candida, certain gut infections, salicylates, and oxalates. I think that's a stool test also. Then there's another one that tests for SIBO, and that's a gut thing. And let's see, she has one for the thyroid panel. My doctor's already run the full thyroid panels, thankfully. There were other ones that look for like food sensitivities to certain common foods. And then the one I know I need this one eventually. I don't know whether I want it to be the first one or not. Is the adrenal stress profile. It's a saliva test, and it checks your adrenal hormones, DHEA, and cortisol for morning, noon, evening, and nighttime. I know for a fact that is one of my issues. I've always been kind of a worrier, and stress out really easily over every little thing. Like, anything goes wrong, my stomach instantly hurts, and I kind of mentally freak out. So, and just with everything that comes with having a home and running a home and homeschooling and doing all the things that I have to do, and just life in general, I kind of stay in a stress environment, not an environment, stress state. I think I stay in a stressed state a lot of the time, and that's not healthy. I've always kind of been that way though, so I don't know, maybe my body's just used to it and it's not an issue. But with having, not much energy, I don't always sleep great. I sleep better than I did when I right before I found out I had Hashimoto's. I didn't sleep at all, very, very well. I do sleep pretty good now, but I'm curious to see what that would say. I have a feeling that my cortisol levels are probably all over the place, simply because I'm just, kind of a worrywart usually, and does not take much to stress me out at all. And so yeah, so that is what I'm looking at doing, because I want to find the root cause. I want to get this done and addressed and knocked out. And I'm hoping, like I said, that my new doctor will help me get the test, but also that she has the experience to help me figure out what the tests mean, and can help me, figure out a protocol of what I need to do once I find out what the problem is. But yeah, trying to get in a mindset of, I'm tired of just throwing, because it's, do I put my time and effort and money into getting healed, and it's going to be a lot, and it's going to be intense for a little bit, and then, but be healed and be done with it, or keep doing what I'm doing and going to doctor visit after doctor visit, running test after test, getting not really any answers, not really much better, just kind of pushing myself and, upping my medication all the time. So I'm leaning towards just trying to get better, even though I know it's not going to be cheap, it's not going to be easy, and it's probably going to take a while to really find out what the issue is. But I still believe it'd be better to know than to keep putting it off. My kids get older, I'm still having no energy. I mean, I'd like to have energy while they're still young enough to go do things with them. But yeah. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to stress was, and no, I have not started on the Trim Healthy diet yet. I still want to. I still plan to. But like I said, things have just been kind of crazy. Our schedule hasn't been super regular, and it's very hard for me to add new things in if my schedule is not on point. I am still wanting to do that though. But I'm very excited for when their new book, Trim Healthy Wisdom, comes out, because it's the one with all the information about the hormones, which is one thing that I am trying to get tested, because I know that has to be a mess. Your thyroid comes into play with all of that anyway. But one thing that the Trim Healthy Mama ladies always push is protein. And they're pushing even more now because they realize, especially for those of us over 40, how important it is to build muscle. And they have a new product called Essential, and it's essential amino acids. And I had bought some when they had a sale at Christmas time. And so I'm going to put me and my husband on it, because it's supposed to help with so many things. Because after listening to Dr. Heather Stone, I am pretty sure I have a blood sugar issue somehow, either insulin resistance or some kind of blood sugar thing going on. And the essential amino acids help with that, which would be awesome. And they also help with, gut issues and just all over feeling better, having energy, all of those things I need. And so I am going to get us started on that. And, just start with 1 serving a day. Because right now I tried to order a backup package of it so that we would have it on the way before we started so we don't run out. And they're out of it. So I got on their waiting list. But I will let you know once we start it how we feel. I have a feeling my husband will be able to see and feel the effects of it a lot faster than me. They say that the men usually do. I mean, they have, less fat and more muscle than us typically anyway. So I can understand that. And he doesn't have all the health issues that I have. So, but I'm hoping that I can start feeling some results from that. But I am trying to figure out some ways to get more protein in my diet on top of, taking the amino acids. So if anybody has any, besides taking like protein powders, I am not good with shakes or smoothies. I'm just not a smoothie person. I don't like them. But if you have any tips on how to get more protein, because I'm not a huge meat eater, I would appreciate it. But yeah, so that's all I had to talk about today. I will be back on here next week. Hopefully I will have started the Trim Healthy Mama, at least for breakfast, and let you know how that goes. But I will definitely have started taking the amino acids. And if I feel any differences, I'll let you know. If my husband does, I will let you know too. And thank you for joining me today on Life and DNA with Amanda Renee. I will see you back here next week. Bye.